Welcome to the orientation session for English 102-W at Calhoun Community College in Decatur, Alabama. My name is Dr. Calatrello and I'll be your instructor this semester. I want you to know that I'm looking forward to working with each of you this semester. My office is located on the Decatur campus in Harris Hall, room 349. My office phone is listed here, 256-306-2716, and my campus email, stc@calhoun.edu. I do prefer that we use Blackboard's message tool this semester, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this presentation. Just a quick word about prerequisites. There is a prerequisite for English 102. Students need to have completed English 101 with the grade of C or better. I generally will check for prerequisites at the beginning of each semester. And if I see that there's any problem with you having met the prerequisite, I'll let you know by sending you a message in Blackboard. Okay, a few words on the textbooks and the materials that you will need in English 102. I would like you to always check the syllabus in Blackboard for the current editions of the textbooks that we will use. Generally speaking, we will use 2 textbooks this semester. The first will be an anthology of some sort. The second will be a handbook, Diana Hacker's A Writer's Reference, a textbook that many of you may still have from previous English classes like English 101 or maybe 092 and 093. I will not assign any reading assignments or any work directly out of the handbook, but it's just a good resource to have on your desk when it comes time to write the papers. That said, if money is an issue, and it always is, you can always find versions of Hacker's Handbook in either of our libraries or in either of the writing labs on the Huntsville campus or here on the Decatur campus. Obviously, you'll need to have reliable internet access and a version of Microsoft Word. I prefer the papers to be submitted in Microsoft Word format, so the files typically will have a .docx at the end of the file name. If you have a different word processing program, that's fine too, so long as you are able to save that file in a different file format. For example, if you have a Mac and you're working in Pages, you need to have the ability to save that file as a Microsoft Word file format or maybe even a PDF file. I can work with either of those formats. Well, it's very easy to get started using Blackboard. The first thing that you'll want to do is access Blackboard on Calhoun's server. Now you can access this server directly by going to blackboard9.calhoun.edu and bookmarking it there, or you can always access Blackboard via Calhoun Community College's homepage. There's a link off of our website as well. Once you reach the Blackboard 9 server, there will be some sign-in instructions provided there to get you into the learning management system itself. Very straightforward. There's usually a simple username and password configuration. If you have any difficulty with either the username or the password or logging in at all, please call Blackboard tech support at 306-2700. Okay. Let's talk briefly about how the course is organized. Students will complete at least 3 learning units or modules this semester. One that covers fiction, one covering drama, and finally, a unit on poetry. Each module may consist of the following: reading assignments, online quizzes, discussion board questions, a writing assignment, and an online exam. There are due dates for each of these learning units or modules posted on Blackboard's calendar and our syllabus. The due dates are the last day work for that module is accepted. Students can work at their own pace and may submit work early. In other words, I will not be prompting you to work through the modules. You will be presented the module and you will have a due date for that module. Now, the manner in which you work through that material is entirely up to you and should be guided by your schedule and your other courses and so forth. I've taught this course for many, many years, and I've tried to design it in such a way that it will be flexible for most online learners. All the work that we're going to be doing this semester is completed online. There is no requirement for you to come to campus. Having said that, if you are on campus, please do come by and introduce yourself. I love meeting students, and I want you to know that even though you're an online student, that doesn't mean that you cannot come by and see me during my office hours, particularly if you have questions regarding the course, the reading, or a paper that you may be working on. I want you to know that I'm here. Okay? Finally, I want you all to make sure that you read the syllabus very carefully for other policies and guidelines that apply to our course. Listen, everyone has questions. Questions are a normal thing, and we expect them, especially when we're reading and discussing literature, so please ask them. Questions always suggest to me that you're thinking, and that always makes me feel good. I encourage you to use the discussion board in Blackboard to post questions that you may have regarding the material that we're reading, or maybe a question that you might have about one of the paper assignments that you might be working through. Everyone benefits when you post your question to the discussion board. When I log in and I read your question and I answer it there, then when the other students log in, they can read the question that was asked and they can read the follow-up responses. And again, everyone benefits that way. Listen, if you had the question, there's a good chance that 30 other people had that question and just didn't ask it. Okay? So I want to encourage you to ask questions, to feel free to post them on the discussion board. Now, if you have a question that's sensitive, a question that may be specific to your paper or particular to your grade, that's where you want to use the message tool in Blackboard. And again, the message tool in Blackboard is a very special feature that we'll be using this semester, and I'll show it to you again in just a few moments. Well, it looks like you made it. You successfully logged into the course, which means you figured out your username and your password, and you clicked on your English 102-W link, and your screen should look something like this. Now, it may change from semester to semester to a minor degree. In other words, I might grow tired of red buttons and choose a different color. But for the most part, your screen should look something like this. I want to first draw your attention to the left-hand frame where you see a list of vertically oriented navigation buttons. And I want to draw your attention to three in particular at this moment. The first is the frequently asked question button. If you click there, you will find a list of frequently asked questions and my responses to those questions. So it might be a good idea to read through these questions the first few days of class, because my hunch is that your question may already have been asked and may have already been answered. So take just a few minutes to scroll through here and read these questions and see what the answers to the questions are. I want to talk a little bit now about the inbox email Dr. C button here. As I mentioned earlier, I get a lot of email each semester. I teach 5 courses. I may have upwards of 125 students. And what happens is that with these 125 students, when they all use my campus email address, well, I don't always know who the student is or what class the student is enrolled in. That's because each of us thinks that we are the center of the universe and that everyone knows who we are, but that's not always the case. So if we use this little message tool within Blackboard, it really helps keep my email organized, or my correspondence and communication with my students organized, because I know who you are, I know what class you're in. Okay, very, very simple tool to use. You just simply click on it, and really this is not a traditional email tool in the sense that it doesn't really go out across the internet. It's an internal or an intranet messaging tool. Very simple to use. You'll see two boxes, two folders, the inbox and the sent box. If you ever need to send a message to me, just simply create your message. Choose your recipients. You see my name listed here. There will be other names here. When the semester begins, your other classmates will be listed here. Select your recipient, come down to subject, put your subject in, and then click in your text box, and you're off to the races. When you're done, simply click the submit button, and off it goes. So I'd really, really appreciate it if you would use this Blackboard messaging tool this semester when we correspond with one another. It really does help me stay organized, and I need all the help I can get when it comes to organization. I want to show you again now one final little link off this navigation frame here. This is a link to our discussion board, which, as you can see, has five different forums that you can post messages to. General course questions. Our very first assignment in the Getting Started unit asks you to post a message to the message board, your icebreaker introduction. This is where you'll do that. And then, of course, you see here forums for each of the 3 modules that we'll do this semester. Again, very, very intuitive discussion board tool. If you've done any kind of reading and posting on any of the forums that are out on the internet, you will recognize how to do this, but I'll go ahead and show you. If you have let's click on the first one, general course questions. You simply click create thread, type in a subject for your question, again type down in your text box, hit submit, and off it goes. Okay, I'd encourage you to make it a habit periodically, hopefully every day, to log into your classes and to see what's new, what's going on, not only in this course but in your other courses. Check your messages, check the discussion board, see what people are talking about. This is integral, really, to succeeding in an online course such as this. Okay, let me click back to the home page. Our home page is set to open up or to display to the Learning Units page, which, if you're ever lost, just simply click Learning Units and it will come back to this. Okay. Oh, one other thing too. See this little arrow right here along here? You may inadvertently click that and your navigation bar goes away. Okay. Don't panic when that happens. Just simply click it again and it will come back. Alright, let's have a quick look at what a learning unit looks like. Let me come down to the first major one, the elements of fiction. And again, these are links or portals, doorways into the larger learning module. You've got a description of what the module contains, and of course, most importantly, you've got your due date in red. And again, the pace at which you work through the items in these learning units is entirely up to you. Okay? The bottom line is that everything in there needs to be done and completed and submitted by the due date. Click on the elements of fiction and it will open to a page that looks something like this. I will give you first a reading assignment, and there may be series of links within this reading assignment to enhance this reading experience, there may be links to websites, there may be links to PowerPoint files, or other video lectures like the one you're watching right now. Okay. For example, this first one has a PowerPoint that you can click or download. Okay. You've got a reading assignment, and you've got a series of links that you can look at as well to get more information about the authors, to get more information about the works that we're studying together. This last link here is a link to a integrity session, so you can hear my voice lecturing over the PowerPoint that is listed at the top of the page. Now, the most important thing that I want to show you before we say goodbye to one another here is the navigation of a learning module. Okay. You will see here in the upper right hand corner it says page 1 of 16. This means that there are 16 items listed in this module, 16 links, 16 activities, whether they are a study guide, whether it is a quiz, whether it is a assignment sheet, but there are 16 items that you need to navigate your way through, and I present them to you in the order that I want you to do them. Okay. Now, so you can navigate through the module this way, almost like you're clicking on the pages of a book. Or if you look again over here, you see these icons here. If I click on these, it will change the display and give us a table of contents for the learning unit that we are currently in. So you can see there are 16 items and there are 16 links, or 16 pages really, that you're working your way through. Okay. The pattern basically in this learning unit is that there is a reading assignment followed by 2 quizzes, the most dangerous game quiz and the hunters in the snow quiz, and then another reading assignment, plot and structure, and then 2 quizzes that go along with plot and structure. There will be a link to characterization, everyday use, and Miss Brill theme, and so forth. At the very end you can see a sample paper, some tips on writing about literature, a study guide for the exam. We can click on that. And what I'm doing here is giving you links in PDF format and as a Word doc, study guides for the exams, a link to the forum. When the exams come online, when the writing assignment is posted, those links will likewise show up here. So it all depends on you and how you like your information displayed. Okay, you don't have to show it, but if you want to, you can click there. Okay, but I wanted to show you that because lots of students never see that table of contents is there for them. Okay. Okay, I guess maybe we'll close here by showing you that you do have some resources available to you by way of our course, and these are links to our library services that we have, a link to the student services available to you here at Calhoun, and finally a link to Blackboard Student Help. I will say that the link to Blackboard Student Help is Blackboard's corporate online help for students, which, as you know from online help, may or may not be very helpful. My suggestion to you always is that if you have a question regarding something that's going on with your Blackboard, that you contact our IT staff at 306-2700. Program that into your phone. We have a very good staff here, very capable staff. Please use it when you have questions. Think of me as your content area specialist if you have questions regarding the course, in other words, the material that we're reading. You want to direct those questions to me. If you have questions that are technical, that have to do with your browser, that you're having difficulty accessing the course, those technical questions need to be directed to technical people. Okay, I won't be able to answer those questions or troubleshoot your browser issues for you. Okay, but again, we have a very capable, very friendly staff here, and they're very knowledgeable not only in Blackboard but in other applications too. So use them. Okay. Let me click back on our main page, and I think that this should give you, I hope it does, give you some kind of layout of the course and what you might expect. I know you're going to have other questions, and when you do, don't hesitate to ask them. Post the questions on the discussion board, send me a message here in Blackboard, or give me a call in the office, and I'll be glad to answer them. Okay? Alright, I'm going to sign off here, and see you online, okay? Alright.